With interest rates recently hitting 8% and whispers of them potentially going even higher, are home prices in San Diego finally coming down? In this video, I'm going to walk you through what's going on in the San Diego housing market right now and what to expect over the next coming months. Hi, I'm Allesen Cann with Realtor Broker. I'm a real estate advisor here in beautiful San Diego, California. I love diving into the data and helping you understand exactly what's going on in the real estate market. So let me take you into my world of numbers and help explain exactly what's going on today. Let's dive in. Okay, first let's start with median price. And I have pulled up here San Diego County. This is median sales price, and you can see this is for the last 5 years. This is August. We peaked this year at $875,000. You can see it did go down in September a little bit. That was when interest rates went to 8%. That was when they went really high, so things softened a little bit. But you can see they're not going down right now. They're staying steady. And interest rates just went down a little bit. So I would expect to continue to see this rather than seeing them go down. We do normally see a dip at the end of the year. The past couple of years are not the best examples, I'm going to say, but let me go back to the max. And if you go back here, you can see like this is 2014. Okay, let me move myself. So 2014 is an example where you can see prices tend to peak in like the June-ish time frame, and then they go down through the end of the year, 40, 29, 30, then they go back up again, and then they go down through the end of the year, and then they go up again, and then they go down to the end of the year. And that's normally what we see. I don't know that we're going to see that this year. I think we might stay fairly flat. I don't know. It'll be curious to see exactly what happens, but prices are not going down. And you can see that what they've actually done is they went down last year. So May is when interest rates went from really low to 5.5%, and demand dropped off a cliff and prices went way, way down. And that was the, crash everyone was waiting for, and y'all missed it. So it happened. And now we've recovered because we peaked over here at 865. We've recovered to 875. We're now at 855. So we're essentially all in the same ballpark. Now, there are areas that have completely recovered and gone above. There are areas that have not yet recovered. I would say, for example, 92130 Carmel Valley, actually where I live, has not completely recovered, I don't think. 92129 Rancho Penasquitos, I don't think has completely recovered. Solana Beach, Encinitas, places like that, I don't think have completely recovered. But I think there's other areas that have gone, way above and are still going crazy. So it just kind of depends. So if you have a specific area that you're interested in, comment below, or, give me a call. I'm happy to pull up data that is specific to an area that you are interested in, so I can tell you a little more micro data. All right, I'm going to sound very much like a broken record on this one, but what's causing this is still inventory. We do not have enough houses on the market. So let's go back as far as we can so we can kind of look at kind of where we are. So obviously this was the Great Recession. Things were all kinds of a mess, and I don't even know how good this data is, but you can see here, this is when, we kind of had normal houses on the market, and we were up here at like new listings, each month. Let's see, we were getting 5,400 new listings. Well, now we're getting 2,300. So we're getting half as many new listings each month as we used to be getting. If we look at active listings up here, we had 14,000 active listings at the peak in August 2014. At our peak this year, we had 3,400. 3,400 compared to 14,000. This is why prices are so high. We have nothing to sell, but we still have demand because you can see closed sales. Look, closed sales haven't changed as much. So closed sales, 4,000 compared to 1,700. So closed sales have gone down like a little more than half, but inventory has gone down like what? like it's a fifth of it. It's a pretty big difference. So that's why prices are so high. It's an inventory issue, and it's going to stay that way until sellers have enough of a reason to sell. They have 2 and 3% interest rates, and that's going to be very sticky. So until rates go down low enough and their pain of having too big of a house or too small of a house or whatever it is, or they have to get that divorce, or the house is just really, really too small, or they just can't live in this state anymore, whatever it is, they have a job transfer, until that thing becomes big enough, they're not going to move. So I don't know what is going to improve this inventory situation. I mean, if you have lived in San Diego for any period of time, you know there's not a ton of new construction around here. There's just not a lot of land unless you go like way east and north. You'll see some, but there's just not a lot. The state of California has made it hard to build stuff. And so there's only certain areas where we're even seeing any. So that's not really happening. And right now, because interest rates are high, builders aren't really building a lot because it's expensive for them. They're scared they're not going to be able to sell them. And yeah, so the inventory situation is not changing. Okay, so if we want to talk about months of supply, which is really what a lot of real estate agents like to talk about, and months of supply is just if we took all of the houses that are on the market today and we looked at the demand from last month, how long would the supply of homes that are on the market today last given last month's demand? And right now, it would be 1.7 months. So we would be out of houses in 1.7 months. That's really, really fast. That means we are in a strong seller's market. You can see even back in 2014, when we were looking at, we were like 4.8. That may have been more of a buyer's market, like maybe, but it may have been more of just like a stable market, like kind of not really one or the other. The buyers may have had a little more power back then. And because like 4 to 6 months is considered kind of a stable market, and then above 6 is like definitely a buyer's market. But right now we're still in a strong seller's market, even though we've seen like the softening, and like even though we're seeing some buyers be able to negotiate and get interest rate buy downs and stuff like that, it's still a seller's market. We are still seeing bidding wars. In fact, if we want to go and look at percent of original list price, we can see that we're still averaging 100%, which means that things are still really strong. And you can see back here, this was when things got really crazy back in 2022. This is when basically everything had 20 offers on it, and we were at 6% over. So pretty much the average was you were going to buy something for 6% over list price. Now, and then it dipped at the end of last year. This is when you could get a deal. And then it kind of peaked over the summer again. We kind of went up a little. And then now we're just kind of like, yeah, you're probably going to pay around list price. So it's still a very strong market. Now, the inventory issue might not be as big of a deal if more homes were coming on the market each month. I mean, we were looking at active listings, and you can see it's just been going down and down and down and down. But what about new listings? What if there's more new listings coming on the market each month? But that's not the case either. That's just been going down and down and down also. And you can see even from last year, we're like drastically lower. And that's because interest rates went so high that now sellers really don't want to sell. So new listings aren't going to help us. So will prices come down next year? Well, of course, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we could be going to war, there's a recession looming, but if interest rates come down as they are expected to, that's going to create more demand for houses. And given that we just saw that supply is low and likely to stay low, that's going to drive prices up. In fact, Zillow is predicting that prices in San Diego will go up 5% next year. And historically, during recessions, prices go up. The one exception was in 2008 when prices collapsed, but that's because that was caused by the housing market. Is San Diego expensive? Yes. Do we all wish that housing prices were less expensive here? Yes. Is it going to get less expensive? As the Magic 8 Ball says, my sources say no. So if you are ready to get into the market and buy your home now before prices get higher and then refinance when rates improve, give me a call. My number's below. It's also on the screen. If you have any questions about how you might be able to afford a home in San Diego, especially if it feels impossible, give me a call. Let me see if we can help. If not, maybe we can find you somewhere else to invest. Maybe you can invest out of state. Give me a call. Let me see how I can help. If this was at all helpful, please give it a thumbs up so other people can find it. Don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell so that you get notified when I put out new content.